Canada, the country with the highest real estate prices in the world, there are still places selling land for just the price of an iPhone. Would you believe it? While many struggle with soaring house prices, opportunities are quietly sprouting in remote areas. Today, let's explore 10 locations with unbelievably cheap land prices in the Maple Leaf Country, where the dream of owning a piece of land is no longer a distant prospect but something you can actually achieve. Monday. A place with unbelievably cheap land prices. About 70 kilometers east of F Mountain City, Monday is a small town situated in the grasslands of Ampeta province. It's so quiet here that you can clearly hear the wind blowing through the gate and trucks fading into the distance on the empty road. But what makes Monday famous isn't that tranquility, but its unbelievably cheap land prices. In a country with average house prices over $700,000 USD, you can buy a plot of land for just around $10,000 USD. Or a white acre of land for as low as $1,500 USD, cheaper than your iPhone. The local government even encourages people to settle with tax reduction policies and construction support, making Monday an attractive destination for those wanting to start over at low costs. Ampeta is one of the few provinces that doesn't charge provincial sales tax, saving you thousands of dollars each year. With low property taxes, owning land here is easier than almost anywhere else in Canada. Isolated, in less than an hour. You reach F Mountain, the major energy and economic center of the West, but when returning to town, the pace of life immediately slows down, with calm lakes, stretching grasslands, and residents greeting each other with friendly smiles. Monday also has a giant sausage wall, which is the pride of the Urbana community. Both fun and symbolic of this small town's creative spirit. In an expensive country like Canada, Monday is like a market loophole where the dream of land ownership becomes feasible. It might not be as glamorous as Toronto or Vancouver, but in Monday, you find something more precious. Peace, freedom, and the genuine feeling of owning your own piece of land in this world. Located in southwestern Manitoba province, about a 2-hour drive from the capital Winnipeg, Brandon is one of the most affordable places for land in all of Canada. This small city in the Wheat Plains is quietly developing, attracting people who want to seek a new, peaceful and sustainable life. Land prices in Brandon range from just 20 to 50 Canadian dollars per square meter, up to 80% cheaper than Winnipeg. With about $30,000 to $80,000, you can own a plot large enough to build a house and grow crops. Even agricultural land is only about $2,200 per acre, dozens of times lower than in southern Ontario. What makes this place particularly attractive is the extremely low property tax rate of just 1.3%. A piece of land worth $100,000 only requires about $1,300 in taxes, plus living costs that are 35% lower than in major cities. This is truly an ideal destination for people wanting to buy land or start life anew. Dubbed the Wheat City, Brandon is the agricultural center of Manitoba but far from boring. The city has its own university, a vibrant arts scene, and is one of the safest places in the region. Each year, the city receives over 2,300 hours of sunshine, more than most cities in Canada, creating a bright, warm, and friendly atmosphere. The local people live simply but with great determination. They love farming work, love sunsets over golden fields, and are ready to welcome newcomers like longtime neighbors. Glamorous but it. A city small enough to be quiet, large enough to develop, and warm enough to call home. Located on the northern edge of Ontario province on the shore of Lake Superior, the world's largest freshwater lake, Thunder Bay is where nature and people become one. The city is about 1,400 kilometers from Toronto but possesses its own unique charm. Vast, pristine and full of opportunities for those seeking a peaceful life amidst nature. Land prices in Thunder Bay are unbelievably cheap compared to the rest of Ontario. A plot can range from just $20,000 to $50,000 USD, and even a white acre rarely exceeds $100,000 United States dollars. With taxes of just 1.57%, the cost of land ownership here is as light as the breeze blowing across the lake. Thunder Bay is the industrial heart and seaport of northern Ontario, where goods, minerals and forest timber are transported across the country. The city is transforming strongly thanks to investments in renewable energy, green infrastructure, and ecotourism. Many investors see this as a potential destination as land prices are still low, but the future is full of promise. What truly makes Thunder Bay stand out is its majestic nature. The city is nestled among forests, mountains, and lakes, surrounded by wonders like the Sleeping Giant Provincial Park or the Kakabeka Falls, dubbed the Niagara of the North. In summer, the surface of Lake Superior reflects the clear blue sky like a mirror. In winter, snow covers everything in white, turning this place into a picture of absolute tranquility. The cost of living in Thunder Bay is about 35% lower than in Toronto. Food, gasoline, and entertainment are all significantly cheaper. The city also has tax rebate policies and financial support for new land buyers, encouraging residents to truly build their lives here. Thunder Bay is a rare combination of wilderness and real opportunities. It's not just a place to live but also to start over. Every morning, the wind from the lake blows through, carrying the scent of cold water and a sense of freedom, like a reminder that happiness is sometimes simply holding a small, peaceful corner of this world. Saskatoon, the Paris of the Prairies. In the heart of the Prairie province of Saskatchewan, Saskatoon emerges as a vibrant oasis. This is the largest city in the province, located along the South Saskatchewan River, where bridges spanning it create a poetic scene that earns it the nickname Paris of the Prairies. It has everything a modern city needs: universities, tech parks, theaters, cafes, and streets lined with maple trees. Yet, what surprises people most is the land prices here. While Toronto or Vancouver force many to give up their dream of buying a home, in Saskatoon, a vacant lot starts from just $30,000 to $80,000 USD. On average, land here costs about $30 to $50 per square meter, dozens of times cheaper than in other major cities. Property taxes are also only around 1.4%. This city is not only affordable but also growing rapidly, with steady population growth over the past decade thanks to mining, agriculture, and technology. The University of Saskatchewan attracts thousands of students and young professionals, making it the intellectual hub of the region. Life in Saskatoon is always fresh, dynamic, and full of opportunities. But amid modern life, the city retains the simplicity of the prairie. Sunsets glowing red reflected on the river, wheat fields swaying on the city's outskirts, and guitar music from small riverside cafes all create an indescribable sense of peace. Many come here to invest but stay for the quality of life. Here, you can work in a rising city while enjoying nature just minutes away by car. Saskatoon is not a distant dream but a simple reality. A youthful, friendly city where land is still cheap, and everyone can find their own space. Moncton, the gem of the East. Located in New Brunswick Province on the Atlantic coast, Moncton is one of the fastest-growing cities in eastern Canada. From a small town, Moncton has risen to become the economic, educational, and technological center of the region. But what surprises people most is that land prices here remain unbelievably low. A residential lot in Moncton is only about $40,000 or $80,000 United States dollars, and for larger plots of several acres, prices hover around $150,000 USD, lower than a down payment for a house in Toronto. Property taxes in New Brunswick are nearly half those in Ontario. The cost of living is 30% cheaper, so more people are leaving big cities to live or invest here. This city also has full amenities: hospitals, schools, shopping centers, pubs, cafes, and tree-lined streets. The city is also famous for its bilingual culture, with both English and French coexisting naturally, creating a diverse, friendly, and open community. Not only affordable, Moncton is dubbed a livable city, with population growth over 8% in just 5 years, a strong economy, and many jobs in technology and services. Tourism is also a highlight, with beautiful beaches like Parley Beach and sunsets over the Bay of Fundy that leave visitors unforgettable. The New Brunswick government also has settlement and real estate investment support programs, making it easy for land buyers to obtain residency. With just a small piece of land, you can start a new life in a peaceful and promising place. Moncton truly resembles a gem hidden in the sand. The city is large enough to offer opportunities but small enough to retain peace. Were you looking for a place that Bistone, the golden land in the oil and gas prairie. Bistone is located in central Alberta province, about 60 kilometers from Edmonton. It's a small community surrounded by vast green grasslands and straight roads leading to oil fields. At first glance, Bistone appears as simple as any other rural town. But behind that tranquility lies an incredible investment opportunity. Land prices in Bistone are so low that many can't believe it. On average, it's only about $9,000 per acre. Compared to Calgary, where a small lot can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Bistone is truly a rare bargain. The Alberta government does not levy a provincial sales tax, while property taxes here are also low, making ownership costs almost negligible. Bistone is attractive not only for its low prices but also for its ideal location. Located near major highways, you can easily travel to Edmonton or nearby industrial centers. Alberta is heavily investing in rural infrastructure and expanding high-speed internet, making remote work or operating tech farms easier than ever. Many choose this place for an off-grid, self-sufficient life in nature. But there are also plenty of investors buying land and leasing it to energy companies for oil wells or pipelines. Each plot of land can generate passive income of up to thousands of dollars per year. A significant figure compared to the low initial investment cost. Life here is slow-paced and fresh, with morning sunlight painting the vast grasslands golden. And in the afternoon, the sound of oil pumps blending with the wind creates the distinctive rhythm of the energy prairie region. The local people are simple, gentle, and always ready to help each other in the spirit of Alberta. The Stone article is not flashy but strong and practical. It proves that cheap land does not mean worthless. With its strategic location, low costs, and clear profit potential, this is truly golden land for those who want to own a piece of the future in the heart of the Canadian prairie. St. Troen, the cheapest coastal city in Canada. Located at the easternmost point of Canada, where the Atlantic Ocean meets the continent and fog covers their coast every morning. St. Troen is the capital of Newfoundland and Labrador province, and also the coastal city with the lowest land prices in the country. While coastal land in Vancouver or Halifax can cost millions of dollars. In St. Troen, an oceanfront lot costs only about $25,000 to $75,000 Canadian dollars, with half-acre waterfront lots still cheaper than a small apartment in Toronto. Average property tax is only 0.8% and notably no land transfer tax, saving buyers thousands of dollars right from the start. This small city has a beauty that is both ancient and liberal, with colorful houses clustered on hillsides overlooking the ancient bay, where fishing boats come and go busily. In the morning, fog lifts from the water surface. Sunlight shining through makes the entire city glow like a painting. Life here is slow-paced but never boring. St. Troen carries strong historical significance, being where the first transatlantic radio signal was received, and home to the street famous for having the most bars in North America. Living costs are about 35% lower than Ontario, and fresh seafood like cod, lobster, and scallops are always available at surprising prices. Friendly locals always smile and welcome newcomers like old acquaintances. Many people come here planning to stay just a few days but end up staying forever. Because it's hard to leave the peaceful feeling of standing before the ocean, hearing wind blow through the cliffs, and watching brilliant sunrises emerge from the water. St. John is not just cheap, it's a lifestyle, slower, closer, and peaceful enough. They found a small corner of paradise at the world. Strat, a small town amidst the grasslands. In the vast plains of Manitoba province, where the sky seems to touch the ground, there's a small town called Strat. Here there are fewer than 200 residents, peacefully situated among wheat fields and dirt roads stretching to the horizon. But don't let that solitude fool you. Strat has some of the cheapest land prices in Canada. Here, you can sometimes find land for just 10 Canadian dollars, less than a fast food meal. Of course not every lot is that cheap, but even agricultural land standing hectares costs only about $10,000 to $50,000. A price that's almost unimaginable in other provinces. For those wanting to live quietly, grow their own food, or start a small farm, this is a rare opportunity. Strat is located near Verdun Town, which has stores, gas stations, restaurants, and medical centers. That's just a few hours. Thanks to this location, Strat maintains rural peace while not being too isolated from modern life. Living costs in Manitoba are lower than most other provinces, nearly 50% lower than major cities. If you're planning to start a new life, grow crops, raise livestock, or simply build a small house away from noise, Strat is the ideal place to begin. Life here is slow-paced, pleasant, and sincere. In the morning you hear wind rustling through the fields, in the afternoon the sun sets behind trees, and night falls in absolute silence. Residents know each other by face, greeting each other when passing by, a closeness that urban areas no longer maintain. Strat isn't for those in a hurry, but for those seeking peace and the true value of land. This small town is nature's simple gift. A place to live slowly, to start over, and to let the wind speak for everything. About a 4-hour drive north of Toronto, Greater Shepherd is one of Canada's most unique cities. Situated between forests and lakes, it possesses the pristine beauty of Northern Ontario while still offering all the amenities of a modern urban area. With an area of over 3,600 square kilometers, Shepherd is larger than Toronto, Ottawa, and Mississauga combined. The population is only about 170,000, creating a spacious environment rarely seen in this era of crowded cities. Land prices here are incredibly cheap, with 1-acre lots starting from just $40,000 to $80,000 Canadian dollars. Property taxes here are nearly 30% lower than in major cities, making land ownership much more affordable. With the same amount of money, you could own an entire spacious house. Gardens and lakes are right near your home, something hard to find in southern Ontario. The city is known as the City of Lakes, with 14 lakes within the urban area, notably Ramsay Lake, the second largest freshwater lake in the world located within a city. In summer, residents go boating and cycling along the lakes. In winter, the water freezes, turning it into a paradise for skiing and ice fishing. The city was once famous for its mining industry, called the nickel capital of Canada. But today, Shepherd is undergoing a strong transformation. The government is investing in green energy, education, and technology, creating stable jobs and opening up new development opportunities. The cost of living is about 35% lower than Toronto, allowing residents to live comfortably without chasing a real estate frenzy. The community here is friendly, hospitable, and always welcomes newcomers. Shepherd is one of the rare places in Canada where nature and city coexist in perfect balance. If you've ever dreamed of lakeside living, amidst quiet forests while still having enough opportunities to grow, then Shepherd is where that dream becomes reality. Copa, the town that once sold land for $1. About 75 kilometers northeast of Regina City, in the Manitoba Prairie region of Saskatchewan province, there's a small town called Copa, which was once famous across Canada for a special reason. At one point, you could buy land for just $1 Canadian, sounding like a joke, but it was true. Many years ago, to attract residents, the Copa government launched the $1 land program. Just commit to building a house within a certain time frame, and you could own a legal piece of land in the heart of Canada. Although this program has ended, land prices in Copa remain unbelievably cheap, averaging only $10,000 to $30,000, a tiny fraction compared to housing prices in major cities. The town has only about 600 residents, but has all the necessities for a peaceful life like schools, medical stations, small stores, and even a hockey rink. The pride of the local people. In winter, children skate on the rink, while adults gather by the fireplace telling stories about the days when Copa sold land as cheap as giving it away. The property tax rate is only about 1.5%, much lower than elsewhere. Meaning if you buy a piece of land worth $30,000, the annual tax is only about $450, less than the price of a daily Starbucks coffee. Nowhere else in Canada offers such a pleasant balance: low costs, spacious living, and a genuinely friendly community. Surrounding Copa are golden wheat fields and endless blue skies. It's not noisy, not rushed, just wind and the scent of hay spreading throughout the town. For many, it's a rare feeling of freedom, a life separated from noise while still having all the comforts. Copa symbolizes a simple dream: owning your own piece of land without needing to be wealthy. In a place where everything slows down, you learn to live closer to nature and realize that sometimes happiness begins with a small piece of land you can call home. Constantly accelerating it. There, land isn't just property but a place for people to anchor themselves amid a hurried life. A small piece of land, a wooden house, a morning with wind and sunshine, sometimes that's already enough. The dream of land ownership that seemed luxurious turns out to be closer than we thought. Because the true value of a place isn't in the money spent but in the feeling of truly living as yourself. Perhaps happiness is when we find a place to stop and call it home.